because people don't know what it sounds like, they won't know what to sound like, if that makes sense.
Oh, so they're not gonna know. They might overact.
Yes, that's exactly what I was worried about. I'm like, oh gosh. We've tried to record one with Lungi before, and he's like, hola, shoda, oh, and I'm like, that is not it. That's not what we're going for.
That's not how you're supposed to sound.
No.
To sound normal as possible.
Yeah, I'm like, just be yourself. He's like, no.
Oh,
I want them to know.
Not listen to podcasts.
No, and then like I have to force him to like listen to bits of podcasts. Other than that, he's like, oh no, this is such a waste of my time. So yeah.
So with reading, I actually have to focus, engage, and the reason why I like reading so much is you have to imagine everything. So you kind of actually have to be within the book to understand what's going on.
Hi everyone, welcome to the No Money More Plants podcast. I'm your host Lebo, and today I have a very special guest. Asi is on the line. Asisipho, let me get it right. Asi is a long-time friend. If we think about varsity, it is a very long time to be friends with someone. Actually, Asi is a long-time friend, and she has this amazing energy and way of making people feel very welcome and feel very happy and loud, but also still have like an inner peace. She graduated with an investment degree from Stellenbosch and worked at a really lucrative investment management company for about 2 years. I see, you'll correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And 3 years, yes. And now she is studying law, and trying to get back into the workspace. Asi, can you tell us? I've said what I know about you, but can you tell us about yourself, please?
Cool. Hi everyone. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be saying hi everyone. But I think you pretty much said everything. I grew up in Eastern Cape, born, raised, buttered, toasted, everything in Eastern Cape. Then I obviously went. I think when I was 13, I moved to Gauteng to go study at a school. I would rather not mention for now. Boarding school, obviously. So you're young, you're fresh. And the idea of leaving home, guys, for a lot of people sounds scary, but to me, it was slightly exciting. And then I did my high school years, and then, like you said, 2013, I think I moved to Stellenbosch to study a degree in commerce, majoring in investments and financial planning. And then literally, as I was about to write my last exam, actually in the week I was supposed to write my last exam, I got an interview at probably one of the biggest firms, asset management firms in the country. And then Feb the following year, I got a job. So it was literally in, out, like out of high school into varsity, out of varsity into work. Worked there for 3 years, actually. I loved it, but it also didn't really feel right. And because you mentioned earlier in your introduction that I kind of enjoy making people feel at peace, because peace is what I personally am continuously on a quest to find. So when I realized that that was slightly missing, eventually I decided to resign. It was supposed to be for 1 year, and then COVID happened. But when you don't have the idea that they could be this horrible and dreadful disease that's going to turn the world upside down. So that happened. And like anyone else, you kind of have to maneuver as life maneuvers with you. So then I started studying law, I think last year. Yeah, because I'm in second year now. And now I'm sort of trying to find or get into a space where I can work, but like not that it should take too much of my time, because I really do enjoy what I'm studying now. And it's kind of brought me back into that space of finding that peace that I was looking for.
Thanks, Asi. That's really in depth. But I just want to backtrack to what you said about this is what you really enjoy studying now.
Yeah.
And ask you, what do you like? Is there? So I'm a big believer in like certain aspects of your childhood that remind you, or that sort of infer something in a child. Like for me, I used to draw pictures for people, and like fashion design. I thought I was going to be a fashion designer at like 6 years old. Were there any ideas or any hints of what you would study one day, or what you would be interested in one day?
Yeah. So actually, I don't. I don't know if I remember, but I can't remember a time when I did not want to get into law. I don't know if that makes sense. So I never, as a child, enjoyed teaching people and thought, I want to be a teacher one day. Or if we were playing house, the prospects of being a wife that stays home while the husband goes, that also wasn't my thing. Or a doctor, like if there was blood, I wasn't the first one to be like, I'll save you. No.
Yeah.
No, none of. I've always, I guess, wanted to see justice for people. But obviously, as a child, you can't really conceptualize what justice is. And even getting to high school, I think I used to join teams like debate, Model UN, public speaking. So it was always kind of within the same range. And my favorite subjects were always your English and your histories, because that's where you would do a lot of thinking, do a lot of work that kind of spoke to the areas of justice. But I think because of many reasons that maybe some I'm probably even going to maybe discover later in life, I kind of convinced myself out of it, and thought that because I was good, or you know how if you're either a numbers person or a word person, but I think you can be both.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that being a word or a words person is not as celebrated as being a numbers person. And because I was always good at both, maybe slightly better with the numbers, but it wasn't that huge of a difference. Obviously, your parents are going to encourage that you pursue finance or accounting. I remember when I was in grade 9 and we were choosing subjects, and I was like to my mom, I'm gonna do physics, which I hated.
Yeah,
I'm going to do accounting, and I'm gonna do history. And she was like, "Hey, what is history?"
Yeah. I can imagine.
So I was literally excited. I was like, "Yeah, the physics and the accounting are like decorations, but it's the history that I really want." And she was like, "Girl,
those combos were not communicating.
Not communicating. What is this?" And like, obviously, as a child, you're like, maybe there is something wrong with this history. And like, even people that you're friends with are doing geography and biology, and I was like, I don't care how many vessels there are in the eye. I don't care. But you kind of quickly realize, or you start internalizing these things, and you kind of think, maybe I shouldn't actually be exploring this numbers thing, and that this words thing, and that maybe I should actually focus on this finance. And then my accounting teacher as well, because we were so good at it, she was convinced her whole class would become CAs.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think it's always been law. I think just obviously being discouraged by obviously the things we hear. Like, I think it was grade 11 as well, where we had to do this job shadowing thing. And I really wanted to go to a law firm. But someone who I trusted discouraged that dream so much that, like, I ended up going to a hospital.
Really?
Yes. And having too much old, sick people. And then literally it went from that to being taken into an operation room. And the whole time
my word.
Slit my wrist and he beat
You know what? I get what you say, because my mom used to say lawyers are broke and they only work at legal aid. Like, that's her perception. She's like, yeah, she's like, you're gonna be working at legal aid. That's not your life. You're not. So I kind of get it.
So you kind of quickly get rid of the dream, and then you go about wondering in life. But like, I read someone's status, I think it was yesterday or this morning, but it said if it's your calling, it'll keep calling. And I think for me that, I think that's probably one of the reasons why after 3 years I was like, okay, this is great, but this is not it. Yeah.
So wait, let me just go back to your interview, because I didn't know this. So you got the interview while you were studying. You're not like other kids who waited 3-4 months to hear what was going to happen with, like, after they graduated. You got the interview, and when did they tell you that you got the job?
So I got the interview, I think it was November, or last week, November, first week, December. That was when I was writing my last exam. And then that was the first interview. And then
wow!
There's a lot. The second interview happened in Jan. No, I think end Jan. I think it was the 27th. Yes,
yeah.
It was the 27th Jan, because I had a DIN exam on the 26th. And then on the 3rd, 4th, I kind of got my. I got a call the next day to say, we love you.
Wow.
And then the one guy was like, I love you so much, but I was like, my team's not good enough for you, so I'll give you to someone else.
Sure. I see. Were you that brilliant? Wait, can you give us like 2 tips? What did you do in that interview that that got you so loved, besides being yourself? Okay. No, we don't need that. Those are lies. There are many people who are themselves.
I guess 2 things. One is I did background research. So I actually asked people, like Vince, I think, was already working there. Mm-hmm. So asked people, and some are of good use, some of no use at all, but that's fine. You kind of gather things. And I did research on the company as well. So when they would ask questions like, why do you think you'd be a fit, or why would you want to work here, you kind of then use things like the company's vision or the company's mission, or stories that you've read about the company that align with you. You don't even know you're a brand. You're literally a walking brand. And when you speak about yourself, you have to speak about yourself as a brand and kind of tie into how you as a brand...
You as a brand. No, this sounds amazing. I know this, what you're saying makes so much sense, but you don't think about that with your first job. You're like, I am an unemployed student. Like, that's my brand name. That's what it's
that is your brand, but you could also make your brand sound more exciting. For me, I think what works is, I've always believed if there's a human or a face, if there's a human interaction, literally there's no reason why anyone shouldn't get a job.
Yeah. These things of online platforms submitting your CV, that's rubbish. Unless you can contact someone. Yeah.
Online. I'm like, I don't do this online thing. And
you're like, I'm amazing. You guys just need to meet me.
Yes. And I'm like, I can't show you that I'm amazing.
Yeah.
Via paper, but like, if you give me a chance, I promise you, you will not regret it.
I completely agree. So wait, huh?
Go ahead.
I was saying, sorry to interrupt. So I was saying, so when you left, because they were like, you're amazing, we love you. When you left, what did they say? Because that's the rough bit.
Yeah. So I think for me, what worked, and I'll answer your question, you obviously have to your context. So when I initially started working there, I struggled like everyone else because I'm a student, mentality-wise.
Sleep-wise, everything-wise, yeah.
Sleep-wise, I didn't even go to classes.
Yeah, punctuality-wise, everything.
Yeah, everything. And so the first 3 months, I battled so much with working, and then my mom and sister were in an accident. So then I was like, even more reason for me to leave this place. And my sister said, and she was actually still in ICU. I don't even think she remembers, but she said, you go back to work and you become the best at it.
Really?
If you do that, then I get out of this hospital and no one ever has to see that I was in an accident. Literally. So she's in an accident in July. And September, she's already kind of starting to walk.
But your sister's super tough. Like, she's hard.
Sorry?
I'm saying your sister is tough. Like, yeah.
My doctor was like, she's probably going to walk in a year or two. 2 or 3 months later, she's already walking. So I'm sitting at work thinking, I hate this job. She's met her end of the bargain. It's time for me to pull up my phone and kind of make that. So I go on and I start filling in all the hours, getting there at 6 if I have to, going there on weekends if I have to and whatnot, and then eventually becoming a top performer, I think, the following year. Because it was kind of, for them, they probably thought it was about them, but it was bigger than that. It was about honoring that project. So obviously when I left, knowing how much effort I put in, literally my boss would send me a link at 5, asking, are you busy? Yes, sir. I'm putting my phone in my bag. I'm about to leave. I have a taxi to catch. Yeah. And the people I walk with to the taxi rank were done at 4. They were ready to leave this place. But I would literally say no and sit down and say, what do you need?
I see.
Is there anything you need me to help you? And sometimes I would put 7 or whatever the time is. And then people would joke about me being an ancestor there, but it was literally I was like, I mean, if I'm here, I might as well put in the hours. So when I left, I had my boss's boss actually come to speak to me, talk if there was anything that they could do
to help you stay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I only realized after someone else told me that it was my boss's boss that hadn't come speak to me. But I was like, I'm so done. I'm done.
Yeah.
And I think that's how anyone should actually want to leave wherever they work.
When you're done, you're done.
People are good riddance, then there's a problem.
Yeah, I agree with you because most people leave when they are being kicked out, not even. Hey there. Sorry to interrupt your listening experience. Are you looking for an online e-commerce site where you can sell your unique product? That Buying Site is a community-centered online shopping platform that provides a digital space for small local businesses to sell their products. They love to support local, and their desire is for communities to invest in each other and thereby grow a bigger, better community together. If you would like to inquire about selling your unique product on That Buying Site, contact them at info@thatbuyingsite.com or call or WhatsApp on 065-841-8624. If you would like to buy online purchases and support your local community, visit
That Buying Site on www.thatbuyingsite.com. They have a large variety of products that you can browse and shop. Some of their categories include electronics, baby, health, and furniture. On that last note, they offer quality, modern, comfortable furniture at affordable prices. If you need a new living room set, sofa, table, or even a patio set to soak up the lovely South African summer, visit their showroom in the Gans Centre, Somerset West, or visit them at www.thatbuyingsite.com.
I think we work for 8 hours, but quickly in my workplace, I realized 8 hours is the time that you're given to work. But people work differently. For someone else, it does take them 8 hours. For someone else, probably longer. But I guess it's more importantly figuring out yourself and how you can give the best with whatever time frame you have.
Yeah.
So I couldn't work until 11 o'clock. So I would literally get to the office 6 or 7 o'clock, but for 4 hours, I'm probably unproductive because I just physically can't concentrate. But then I started, initially in the beginning, I was like, this is terrible. I'm such a horrible employee. But then I quickly realized, hang on, if I can do the work that everyone does in
the afternoon.
So I might as well accept that this is my fate. And then I would use 7 to 11 to have coffee dates and build relationships with people in different departments.
That's actually very smart.
I actually enjoy.
Yeah.
So then I'd be like, okay, I'm away from my desk for 2 hours. I know it looks wrong. But if I don't do these coffee dates, then I'm not motivated to come and serve whatever time I'm supposed to serve. So I guess, I think once people kind of move away from seeing your job as that dreadful place that you have to go be at from 8 to 5, and instead of like finding means or ways of trying to make it as exciting for yourself as possible, then it kind of makes things different, I guess.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yes. And it's a very smart, I didn't know you, well, I didn't think about it that way, but like doing the coffee dates in the morning, well, in the time that you feel less productive. I think that's it's a very smart thing to do. So thank you for that. Next employment, we know.
Thanks for listening to part 1 of my chat with Asi. I have certainly learned to look at myself as a brand, and I will be using my unproductive hours to build relationships with those around me in the workplace. What did you take away from this talk? Please share your thoughts or takeaways on the comment section below. On part 2, we will be talking about parents, fitness, and making plans. See you in the next one.